Welcome back to Sports Hot Media. It is on and popping. It's your player partner, the one and only Mack B. I'm back at it. I'm back in the building, baby. Episode 64. Man, time flies when you're having fun. And for everybody that's tuned in and tapped in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the love. We're growing as a family here at Sports Hop. And I got a special show for you today. We've been trying to make this happen for quite some time. So first and foremost, I got the hip hop godmother of the West Coast hip hop movement. Violet Brown is in the building. What's up, Violet? Give me some French fries.
What up? What up, Mack B?
Oh man, I'm chilling like a villain. How you feeling?
I'm good now that I'm here.
Okay, I see you brought some friends with you. So
right.
We got the Unconventional Kingz in the building.
Yeah.
Hi, Def. We got Low Key the Wizard. What's up, player? How you feeling, man? You guys good?
Feeling good here, man. You got a great setup in here. This is great.
Hey, man, I can't do anything without the man right there, Solomon. Shout out to him. And
yeah,
we're honored to have you. So we're going to dive right in. We got a lot to talk about, and we got a special performance coming later. I'll save that for later on. Violet, let's tap in with you first and foremost. You're well respected in the industry. If I'm not mistaken, just in the music business period, you're at least 30 to 40 years in, right?
Oh, yeah. Longer.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. And when I first got to the West Coast many years ago, you were on my radar. You were, in fact, in the Source magazine, Power 30.
Yeah.
And back in the day, for those of you who are watching the show are like, what the hell is a Source? The Source was something called a magazine where you could open it up and read articles and things of that nature.
It was actually known as the Bible of hip hop. That's what they used to call it.
Right. And you were recognized as one of the top 30 powerful, influential people in hip hop.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the situation with Warehouse Music and how you got in the game. Talk to me about that experience and how you were so pivotal from a marketing standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, and built the relationships with some of the biggest artists in the world.
Well, I'll tell you that the way that I got started was really collecting records as a kid.
Okay.
So I've always collected records my entire life. I used to be the kid that brought all the music to school dances, to parties, home, house parties, things like that. And as soon as I could, I wanted to work. And there was a local swap meet near me called the Rhodium Swap Meet in Gardena, California. And there was some guys out there, a man and a woman, that sold 4 and 8 track tapes. This is before cassettes. There were 4 and 8 track tapes. I know you guys don't know what that is, most of you, but some of you know. And they used to sell those out there at the swap meet. I was 12 years old, and I went up to them and I told them I wanted to work for them, and I knew a lot about music because I was collecting music already from the time I was 5. I started collecting 45s from a little record store that was around the corner from my house. So they said, okay, you can help us set up. We set up, in the morning, 6 a.m. We close out at 4 p.m. Then we're done. And we'll pay you $20 for the weekend. So that was $10 a day they wanted to pay me. And I thought I was rich with that money because I was 12 years old. Back then, it wasn't like now with things costing the way they do. So I felt like, that was a lot of money. So I worked for them, and I started telling them, they made compilations that they sold to other swap meets across the United States. And I started telling them the songs that they needed to put on those. So the ones that I would tell them to make ended up selling really well for them. So, and they were very popular, and they started selling like everywhere. People in the East Coast and all that were buying them. Wow. So they stepped to me, and I guess rather than paying me more money, they thought they would juice me by making me somewhat famous. So they were going to put my name on them. So it would be Violet 1, Violet 2, like that. That would be the compilations. So I did that with them till I was around 15 years old. And then they said, hey, we're going to close out of our business. We have a little store in Lawndale. You want to take it over? And I said, sure. So when I was 15 and I was still in high school, I took over that store, and I paid them at the end of the week for what I sold. They put the tapes in, I sold them. And then I begged my mom, please let me quit school because the shop's making a lot of money. I was a popular kid in school. I was in rock bands, and then I also brought all the music to the party, so everybody knew me. I was in drama and all that. So my store was full, and I was making a lot of money. And as a teenager. And my mom said, absolutely not. You're not quitting school. So she would sit in there during the day, and then I would come after school and on the weekends and run it. Finally, the shop was making so much money. And I actually changed the name of the shop to Mrs. Natural's Nickel Bag, and I turned it into music store / head shop, and that's like smoke shop nowadays.
Yeah, I'm like, that has a little cannabis reference there with the nickel bag.
Yeah, and it was painted on the outside like the Zap comics with the fabulous furry Freak Brothers and Keep on Truckin' Dude, all the hippie shit, you know. The outside of the store was painted like that, and there was no stores with stuff like that on the outside. So the store was really popular, and I just started growing that business big time. And then when I became 18, things changed, and they were coming down on us for those types of tapes a lot, you know, so they were coming in, trying to close us up. So I had to go completely legal and start buying goods, you know, from record labels and things like that. So I did that for till I was 18, and then I wanted to still be in the music industry. So I had my mom sit in the store, run the shop during the day and the evening now, and I went to work for another chain. And it was called Wallach's Music City, which was the Tower Music before its time. It was a big chain. And so I went to work for them. Then their distributor hired me. From there, I went to work for Warehouse Music. And I was a buyer at that distribution company, too. And I bought for stores across the United States. And I bought singles. So that meant I had to know what was happening, because singles was the thing,
yeah.
And I had
99 cents.
I had to know what was popping in Cleveland, in you know, Portland, Oregon, everywhere, you know. Right. So that was a big deal for me, being a buyer there. And then I found a job that was close by at Warehouse Music. And I only took it because it was closer to where I lived. So I took that job, and from there I was a store manager. I was a district manager for them. As a store manager, I ended up running the #1 urban store in the country, which was Warehouse, Big Ben's / Warehouse. It was Big Ben's first, then Warehouse. And that was on the corner of Rodeo and La Brea in Los Angeles.
Right.
It was in the hood across the street. They, you know, there was all kinds of stuff going on right across the street from my store. They called that the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
So, and
it's still there.
Yeah.
I used to live in it.
Yeah. And it was during the time of a lot of crack and stuff like that happening in LA. So it was happening right outside the door of my store. So there was a lot of stuff going on in that location. And they had never, or in that area, they had never had a white manager there at that store, and they never had a female manager. So I had to go in and pretty much beg my company to let me manage that store, because that's really where I wanted to be.
Right.
And my love for the music came from when I was a kid. My mom and dad, they worked a job where they were gone in the summer, and I was out of school in the summer, so they needed somebody to take care of me. So they would leave me with their best friends. Their best friends was a black couple that lived in Compton. And so I grew up every summer living with them. So I was listening to everything that they were listening to and loving it. I would go back to my school in September, and all the songs that I was coming with, now new 45s and new music, was all things like Function at the Junction by Shorty Long, and, you know, all this Motown stuff, and, you know, records like that. So that's where my love came, really, from, you know, for urban music, black music. Even on my business card back in the day, it said Black Music Buyer, because that's what it used to be. We had Black Music Month, we had Black Music magazines, Black Music conventions. That's what it was, you know.
Right.
Things are very different now, you know. It suddenly became urban music, and, you know, times changed. But that store, I started doing free concerts in the back. I would do it every month for Black Music Month in June, or every year in June for Black Music Month. And I had gigantic artists performing live on stage in the back parking lot.
Free show.
Free show. People dropping by to sign autographs. N.W.A. come walking through. I had a rap competition one time that had Ice-T, Eazy-E,
Legends,
Hammer, Greg Mack from K-Day.
Shout out to Mack, Greg Mack.
Bobby Jimmy was there, and all these people. Tone, Young MC was there. And these were the judges of the competition, and it was in the back parking lot of my store. And I reviewed all these tapes and broke it down to about 10 people, and then they performed live for those guys sitting there in the parking lot judging them. And this was like in the 80s at some point, and maybe late 80s at that point. But it was a big deal, and we did that every single year. We never had any violence, and
right.
It was a big deal.
What was it like interacting with some of the biggest artists on the planet, like Dr. Dre, the Eminems of the world, the Tech N9ne, who's still an underground legend with a capital L? Talk to me about that relationship and how you were able to cultivate that with these artists that all came from different regions, different areas, but when they came to the West Coast, one of the first things they did was come check in with you.
Yeah.
Because you were responsible for a lot of those sales that were elevating based on your marketing strategy and the creative things that you implemented at that time.
Yeah. Well, the way that I looked at it is I always felt that there was room for any artist. If they took the time to record an album, they put their life into that first album.
Yeah.
And if they took the time to do it and put it out, and if they got it to me, whether they had a distributor or not, some of them I had to lead to distribution companies because they didn't know anything about that. There was a few of them that got slipped through the cracks, and I got to buy directly from them. Like Hammer, back in the day, I used to buy his records straight out of his trunk of his car.
You did consignment with him?
I didn't do consignment. I bought them straight out from him, and there were a few other artists like that I would buy. But those particular artists, I felt like everybody has a home somewhere with family, with friends, with schoolmates, and they have a built-in customer base. Even if the dude's from Fresno, California, I knew he had fans in Fresno, California. So I would take the time to put his records right there in Fresno and maybe the cities right next to it. And then as he or her would go out and do the promotion on it, we could always build it and spread it deeper, to maybe it went to different states, maybe it went to the East Coast, wherever they were making it happen. And I would always try to help them with their ideas about marketing it and promotion and things like that. So I always had my door open to everyone. A lot of little artists that they had never released anything before. They became super big, like Hammer, Hammer.
Shout out to Hammer.
Yeah, he was a guy that showed up in my office and he wanted me to hear his music. I put it on and I was like, okay, it's catchy or whatever, and I felt the same thing about him. Like, well, he's from the Oakland area, so we'll put it over in Oakland and see how it does. And he was very animated. He was very sure of himself.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to be the biggest rapper of all time. And
I like the confidence.
And a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
A lot of ego, big time. And so, he kind of made you believe it, with him. He sold himself really well. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a shot or whatever. So I bought directly from him, which I didn't really do. I always bought through distributors. And I would turn people on to little indie distributors or majors. And so we started doing in-stores with him in the Bay Area. And, the first one, I think 50 people showed up. And then the next one, over 100 people. And it got to where there were lines wrapped around the block of our stores, to come in to get his autograph. So, and he was always like, he goes, I'm going to fly you out here for the in-store. And, I didn't really go to in-stores unless they were nearby the office, kind of, but
Yeah.
I would fly out there, and he was a guy who, I'll buy you a ticket or whatever, and then by the time he was as big as he had his own jet, and he was taking 150 people from his tour, his crew, to all these different countries and stuff like that to do shows, and that was his own, plane. So, there came a point where Capitol Records was looking for some people. A friend of mine who worked with me at Warehouse had started doing A&R over there. So she hit me up and she goes, hey, I'm looking to sign somebody like a Madonna or a Bobby Brown. And I was like, yeah, I bet you are, who wouldn't want to sign something like that? And I said, I have this guy. I go, he's only really selling in our chain and he's climbing the charts. Hammer got in the top 10 of Warehouse overall top 10 chart.
Independent.
And he didn't even have a deal.
Wow.
He had no deal anywhere. And so record labels were coming to me and going, who is this guy on your chart? What is this MC Hammer? And I would like, well, he's an independent artist that we're selling. So when Capitol was interested when they were looking for someone, I said, I think you should talk to Hammer. And she wanted the tape, so I sent it to her. She called me back and she goes, man, what are you thinking? This is not for me. I said, maybe it's not for you. I said, I don't buy records for me. I buy records for the fans. Yeah. And he's got fans, I'm telling you. I said, there's plenty of records I buy thousands of, hundreds of thousands, and I don't put it on and rock it at my house, but there's fans, for
Right.
these. So I said, I'm telling you, he's going to sell. He's going to be big. So she passed it on to somebody else. He got the biggest deal at the time. I think it was a couple million or something he got. And they also made the deal with him because he went in saying, I'm going to be the biggest rapper of all time. And they said, okay, when you're the biggest rapper of all time, what kind of car do you want? And he goes, Testarossa. And they said, okay, we'll buy you a brand new one when you're the biggest rapper of all time. So it wasn't long after that, he calls me up and says, can you come to Capitol Records today? I'll send a car for you. And I was like, what are we doing? He goes, they're giving me my Testarossa car. He goes, I sold more records than any other rapper. And he was selling out stadiums.
Did he dance on top of the hood?
Oh, my God.
Did he do the Hammer with the parachute fans?
He used to pull me on the dance floor with him at clubs. And, he was a character.
Yeah,
he was a character. But I saw a lot of people come up like that. But with Tech N9ne,
shout out to Tech.
I first heard Tech on a radio show. So kind of like people are going to hear Unconventional Kingz today on this show. That's kind of the way that I heard Tech. He was live on the radio on K-Day. And I had never called into the radio station before, but I had their inside number where I could dial directly in.
Yeah.
And so he was on there and he was rapping live, and I was like, this dude's amazing. Oh my gosh. So I call up the station and I got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and that was it. And then it was maybe a year or so after that, maybe even a little longer. He popped by my office with his manager, Travis O'Gwen, and they were bringing a demo for me to hear. And the demo was actually his first album, Angelic.
Yeah.
And so...
That was a dope record, too.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Dope.
So they brought that to my office, but I was out in another meeting or something, and I couldn't just have them drop in like that day because I had something going on. So I said, just leave it there and I'll get back to you or whatever. So I listened. I was away at a meeting. When I got back, I started listening to it and I couldn't believe my ears. I'd never heard anything like this before, and so I just kept rocking it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, let me call these guys, so I call them up and I said, I got your CD. I've been listening to it. I would love to meet with you guys. And they were leaving. They weren't even going to be there. They were going to leave to go back home. And they decided to stay. And the next day they came by my office and we started this whole meeting process over again. We sat in a room listening to the album. He was talking about the album, and I was like sold 150%, not only on Tech as an artist, but also Travis. I really liked Travis. You know, he really, I knew that he was going to go somewhere too. He really had a good head on his shoulders. He was already a businessman, you know, before, but not in the music industry, you know. But I tell you what, this dude has really mastered this industry. He's somebody that everybody in the business knows who Travis O'Gwen is now, and everybody knows who Strange is.
Yeah. Shout out to Strange Music and Tech N9ne in Kansas City. And speaking of Kansas City, my player partner over here, you know what time it is. How did this come about with Unconventional Kingz, you know, low key, high def? How did this relationship in this union form? Talk to me about that whole process.
Well, I was just at home, like I think we had just rehearsed or something like that, and I got a drop down on my phone.
So you and Low Key were already working together.
Yes, yeah. With as far as what with Violet,
before you got with her.
What's that?
You and Low Key were already doing music.
Yes. We had polished up an album by that time.
Okay.
So the timing was really, really, it couldn't have been any better, because we were just coming off of a lot of shows. We had just put out our first album, and we really needed some direction, you know, and it blew my mind, because out of nowhere I get a message on Messenger, like from Facebook, and it said Violet Brown. And of course, I don't believe that it's actually Violet Brown.
You're like, I'm getting spammed.
It's one of these people that's going to use her name and try to get me to send him $250 to listen to my album or something, right? So I'm getting ready to cuss him out, and another drop down, and it's her phone number, and she said, I'd like to talk to you. And so I flipped out, and I called Tech N9ne first, and he said, and
verified it with him.
Sean Tyler said, you need to call Travis O'Gwen. So I called Travis, and Travis told me that Violet, he's like, you know, Violet is royalty. He goes, I think she's been kind of laying dormant for a while. So if you got her ear, you should listen to whatever advice she could be really helpful to you. You know, and immediately same thing. I sent it to her while she was in a movie. I sent her our album, and I wasn't getting a chance to be in the room with her like maybe Tech was. I just heard that story. It's crazy.
Right.
To think about him pitching his album Angelic track by track, right? So that's what I did with her, though. I sent her an email, and I color coded the emotion of the songs, what genre the songs were, the intention of how the album was meant to flow and how it was meant to keep the listener there. I was like picturing myself trying to get her to buy a million of my CDs, you know what I mean? And so of course I send it, and I wait, and my phone rings at like 7:30, and she's just at the top of her lungs. This is amazing. Who are you? Like, you have to get a deal. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was really
dream come true.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I called him. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm serious, man. She actually listened to it. She's listening to it right now. I'm on the phone with her. And she was there. She had Carla with her, and they're playing the songs, and they're asking me questions about the song. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, it was so much validation, because of what she just said, is that she didn't buy records because they were for her. She bought them because she knew that there would be a trove of fans that were going to connect to it. You know what I mean? That's how Tech N9ne can be what he is and still be underground, but move the type of units that he moved.
Right.
It's because she knew that this is going to connect to so many different types of people, because it's human condition music, and he's so lyrically talented and skillful. So when we were putting our record together, the idea was, man, we really want to be different, and just being ourselves seems really different, right? You know, so Yeah, so Violet, to answer your question in short, she came out of nowhere because a fan, because a fan of a song that we did with Tech N9ne called Execution, a fan had reposted that song. And that's why she reached out to us.
On social media.
On social media. She had no idea that we were connected to Tech N.W.A. She just knew we were an artist that had done a song with him.
Right.
She didn't know any other connection beyond that. So once we started tying all of these things together, it was like, wow, we're gonna make a run, aren't we? Like, we're gonna make a run at this. We're gonna really go put our pedal to the metal because it's special, you know.
And the laws of the universe always come 360. It always circles back around because you had the relationship with Tech. Mm-hmm. She has a history with Tech, and somehow years later, full circle, where Violet Brown is back in the mix. And part of it is correlated with Tech N9ne.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, you know, that's just interesting when you kind of look at the way it all plays out. How did you and Low Key hook up? How did you guys get together? Tell me the story of how you came up with the name Unconventional Kingz and how you guys decided to start this movement and make this music. Tell me what's happening.
Oh, he's talking now.
Yeah. So
Low Key.
So yeah, we were
wizard.
working at a car dealership, and we're out there selling cars and
Ford or Honda.
And I'm not even going to tell you what cars we sold or where the dealership was and nothing that. But we were out there, just selling cars, man, and start talking. And you know, when you're in that business, you spend a lot of time with people because you can't miss any opportunities. So you're there 6 days a week, working 10, sometimes 12, sometimes longer hours a day.
Long days, yeah.
So you get to know people real fast. And it was me and High Def and a third member that we became real tight real quick. And so I don't leak a lot of information to people right off the way. That's one of the reasons why they call me Low Key is because you don't know till you find out.
I got you.
So we'll be out there and I'll just like start beatboxing because I like to beatbox too.
Oh, okay.
So I'll spit a little, and he would come out and he would just start spitting these Tech N9ne verses, dude. And I mean like perfectly on meter.
Yeah.
Which I being a musician my whole life, I caught that right away. I was like, holy smokes.
He was in the pocket.
This dude's in the pocket, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And that's where like the music kind of clicked in my head a little bit. I was like, hey, this guy's talented. But then we would go on, and when I sang some karaoke one night, I sang a karaoke song one night, and he was like, oh, dude, you sing, And I was like, yeah. And then like a year later, he come over to my house and I got the guitar out and he's like, holy shit, you play guitar? I said, yeah, I've been playing guitar my whole life, man.
One-stop shop right here.
Whatever, I got this love-hate relationship with music my whole life where we'd be in these bands and we get to the point where we're about to get signed or about to go do something and then everyone would quit and I'd be like, I'm never doing this again. So I would sell all my equipment and then 6 months later buy another guitar. I'd be right back in it, And so yeah, it was like COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's COVID, man. We were just like, dude, let's just do something. He was like, dude, let's try making some music, and I was like, hell yeah, let's make some music.
What's crazy is that I didn't know if I could write a song when I told him that.
Yeah.
We lined up an iPad in the kitchen, and we used GarageBand and an amplifier that he had and an interface, and we recorded a song into an iPad.
Wow.
To see, and I wanted to see how people responded to it, and he was like, no, man, it actually sounds good, but you don't know what your friends are saying to you, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Plus, not to mention, my guy is the most elite technical rapper of all time, and I have a lot of respect for hip hop. So I don't believe people should just play in it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you should do hip hop as a hobby. You know what I mean? I have a love for it. I mean, professionally, you should respect it. To me, especially if you're gonna present it and end up signed to that label, like we are. But when we made a song, and the first song that we ever made was called We All Need Love.
Like all we need is love, or we all need love, something like that. Yeah, it was like
it was COVID bars in there,
it was like COVID bars in it.
Right.
And I also want to say real quick too that like the biggest like spark moment that happened there was I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like this guy and me, we can make some music, and he's like already like my best friend, and I was like, we had a lot of fun making the song. And that moment, and the song was actually pretty good. To be honest, like if it came out being crappy, I wouldn't have even cared because we were having such a good time. I was like, dude, let's just make music, man.
Yeah.
Even if we were gonna make jingles Because the truth is, me and him could be swinging pickaxes and digging trenches, and we're gonna have a good time doing it. Like we're gonna have fun doing it.
You got that.
We were
connection,
real real friends, and that's how we ended up with the name Unconventional Kingz.
Yeah.
You asked that. We if you look at us on stage, people don't think we belong together. Like if you ever see like our intro and purposely the way that we come out, people end up looking at us like they're at the circus for the first time and they didn't know they were going to be there. And they're trying to figure out like, why is this big 6'4"? He's got a guitar. What does he do? What kind of music do they do? I come out and sing a Michael Bublé, 4 bars of Michael Bublé before the show starts, and people have no idea what's going to happen, you know? And then we take them on this crazy journey in these shows, you know what I mean? But when I have to tell you about, he's a savant guitar. He closes his eyes and plays guitar, and I had never heard anything. My father was a professional musician his entire life. He never heard me see. He died in 2016. I got the name of his band on my stage clothes, H. Dalton's Legacy. He never heard me sing a note in his life, and he died in 2016. I never tried to write, sing anything until I was in a room with him. It was the first time I ever tried. And we got really dedicated to it. I took a room in my house and turned it into a studio. Inquired with a lot of different people about how we could record, and then we taught ourselves how to record ourselves. We didn't bring an engineer in or anything.
Wow.
We taught ourselves how to do it. We kept upgrading our equipment. Lex Bratcher moved into my home, and she's a phenomenal top-tier MC. And she moved into my home, and she was really inspiring. I learned a lot from her in regard to like the value of words and space and stuff like that. We never really sat and talked about it, but every once in a while she'd be like, hey, I think you might be trying to get too many syllables in the bar right there. You know what I mean? Like you can do it cleaner than that, and not tell me what to say, but tell me and be a good, you know what I mean? So I was getting my skills honed by a really elite, young, completely improbable connection with this young girl that in the middle of COVID got her apartment sold out from under her. The building got sold, and she just needed some place to live. I just so happened to be one of her biggest fans. She was managed at the time by a guy that's really connected to tech, and she felt comfortable enough to come and live in my house so that she could save up some money so she could move back to LA. And we built a friendship, and we traveled all over the country, and we did shows all over the country. We performed live all over the country. She feels like part of the unconventional kingdom to us, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like our sister.
But once we wrote a song called Ashes in the Wind, and we wrote these harmonies, and we did this song in like record time without the intention of doing it, but we're just pacing around my house.
Yeah.
And this idea's come out of his head, and it happened, and then we made the song, and when we go play it across the country, people cry. I mean, they really cry, boo-hoo cry at this song. And we knew, and we thought they were crying because of what we wrote. And they had completely taken the song for something else. We were talking about Ashes in the Wind, like losing your woman, your relationship, and all the plans that you made, they're blowing away like ashes in the wind. And other people were thinking of it as anything or anyone that they lost that had blown away like ashes in the wind. And these people are melting down. Right. And we went and did a show in Farmington, New Mexico, like really early on, and the record's not out. We had just been rehearsing. We would live stream all of our rehearsals because we wanted to feel the pressure of people watching us. So we're live streaming all of these rehearsals, and we go do this show in Farmington, and the arena, like the venue where we're playing with Mayday, they're singing the song, like louder than us.
Wow. To
the point where he was kind of stopped and was like, sing the song. We're like, how do they know the song like that? And so we knew that we were like touching them organically that way.
Yeah.
And they see us, and they see the representation of, it does not matter that where we come from, how different we are, how different our belief systems, and all the stuff that we'd allowed to separate ourselves now, when it just comes down to having love and understanding and respect in a shared space, and you just might not know who you'll like. you might just like everybody if you just showed love in a shared space.
Facts.
So all of our shows, when you go and look at our shows, we have fans that are 60 plus years old and 16-year-old kids, you know what I mean? And they're all nodding their head and having just as good a time because of the way that he can play a guitar to them and the way that I can rap and sing. But more importantly, they see that it's a big blurred line on that stage. They do not care that we look like we look or whatever else it is. They're getting their heads rocked off right now.
Right.
And so, to have people like Violet Brown, like, see that, I remember talking to her about how people that elevated to her level in the music industry can have a good radar for what's authentic and what's bullshit. You know, and if Violet Brown hears you and she goes, "That's authentic," people will love that. That's the right, you know, and I get to walk in the rooms with her and not feel like I had to go beg her to do it. She called me. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was
you can
crazy.
Still be authentic and be your true self.
Yes, man.
And that's what stands out with you guys. Speaking of standing out, talk to me briefly about the road. You know, you've been on the road with X-Rated and Strange Music Artist. Shout out to him and Tech. You've rocked some shows with Tech. Talk to me about that whole element and what that's been like for you and what you've learned from both of those guys, because they're both, you know, legends in the game.
We built Unconventional Kingz around the live show. We had already played 100 shows before we put an album out. And we did that because
that was smart.
Because we wanted to go let fans tell us what songs to put on the records.
Right.
So we already knew, we had tested the market, and we thought we had an idea of what people would like on it. What I learned from Tech as an MC is his preparation is like next to none. There's nobody that prepares like he prepares.
Right. From
a rehearsal standpoint, from creating the environment to write in, from the way that he manages his space when he's on the road, his timing for when things need to shut down so he can begin to mentally prepare for his show. Learning how to really be prepared, be really well rehearsed so that you can go out and present that product exactly the way you intend to present it. It was so invaluable. That's why I followed him around the country. I was watching every move that he made. And what he was doing was, I love telling this because he was bringing me on stage. Right. I didn't have the song out. He just knew and had heard, and he was preparing me and bringing me up in front of these crowds of 1,500 people. Yeah. I'm rapping his songs with him word for word, though. You know, we're doing songs like "Oh Yeah" and stuff on stage. And if you know Tech, if he's gonna bring you up to rap the song,
you better know it.
You better know it, because
you better know it.
If he look at your mouth and see you said the wrong thing, it can make your brain spark and do the wrong shit. It just happens, you know? So he was bringing me up, and he was seeing, like, I was come off stage, he'd be like, "Man, you nailed that word for word, man." Like, you know what I mean? But I wasn't gonna be a rapper. I just wanted to do this for fun with my friend and support him at his shows, you know what I mean, and on these songs.
Right.
But when I actually got to see him, and the first time that I saw artists talk about how to catch their words on stage, I heard Tech and X talk about it in San Diego. And, you know, Tech was saying something like, you know, "Yeah, man, here's all the words, and, you know, hit them all perfect, because if there's one that you feel like you don't know, just don't say it. Don't say the wrong word." You know what I mean? And it wasn't like X wasn't gonna get the right word, but he was just talking about, I think they were conversing about when they were using ears and who else, if somebody was rapping on your song, do you want to hear them in your ear or not? Right, you know what I mean? Because they may not say the right thing. So, but really, I'll tell you, we learned from King ISO. King ISO has been signed to Strange Music for, I want to say, at least like 5 or 6 years at this point. Yep. He's got multiple albums out that are phenomenal on that. And he really taught us how to be touring professionals, though. We spent a lot of time with him, and it's the same thing with him. He's really good at managing his energy when he's on the road. And we toured with him all across the United States, and we toured with him in Canada too, with Mayday. Yeah. And he's a really good brother to us. His name ISO is because he will absolutely isolate. You know what I mean? Like he's but mentally and maintaining his physical, his strength, his conditioning. We learned that from him. When we went out with Mayday, we learned how two guys can move together on stage. Like they're the masters of when they move in their songs and creating energy during a show. We paid attention to that a lot. And then we just went and did 170 of them between all of those guys, and we really paid attention. So we started the first tour in April of 2024 with ISO. We immediately came back. We did 25 more cities with Mayday through that July. Then we jumped straight up to Canada. Now, prior to that, we had been doing shows with Joey Cool of Strange Music as well. Right. I think we've done 35 shows with him.
Shout out Joey Cool.
Shout out Joey Cool.
He was the first one from Strange we actually did shows with, yeah.
He was the one. Joey Cool is responsible for Tech and Travis and everybody finding out that we were actually a real thing. Because it was like, look, they call me Herb still sometimes. I have to tell Tech to remind him, you know what I mean? He don't call me, you know what I mean? So Joey came down. I asked Joey, would you come down and like be a part of a show with me so I can help get some people in the building, you know? And he did it. And we looked to the right. It was our second show we ever did.
Yeah.
I looked to the right and we see Joey. And if you know Joey, he puts his head down like this and he puts his glasses and he's looking over these glasses at me. And then I see him turn to our manager, Mercedes, and then I see him turn back. We walk off stage. He goes, yeah, I got to make a call. He goes, I didn't know that it was like this. I didn't know it was like this. And he called Tech and Trav and he goes, man, you got something on your hands down here. And that basically led to us getting on X-Rated's tour.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we did that for gangster rap fans up and down California.
Yeah.
We did that. We did the Mayday fans, which are more of the lighthearted, you know what I mean, came to have a good time and vibe out type of fans. The Tech N9ne fans who absolutely require you to wow them. If you cannot wow them, they're just waiting for Tech to get there.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to.
Right.
So yeah, man, all of those experiences though, that we went out and market tested it and it does well.
We were verified and validated by other artists, right? It wasn't like, because some people have been out there saying that like, we're the whole reason that we even moved or anything like that is because of your relationship.
Because of Tech.
Because your relationship with Tech N9ne. And from the first time I heard that, I was like, dude, why would you insult Tech N9ne like that, bro? Like he's just on that. No.
It was
not even close, dude.
Yeah. Way harder than that.
Look, I mean, we can have an off the record conversation when the camera's off, and I can prove to you.
Yeah,
that there was nothing handed to
you.
You've been working.
I can show you things lost. I can show you what we've lost.
Y'all out here working. And
he has so much integrity that he would never do that. You know what I mean? Like, he would just tell me, he's like, Herb, I would never have, ever. I don't play with music like that, man. Like, I wouldn't go out there and put my name on something. Tell my partner to, man, you in here in Strangeland recording in our studios and everything is the real deal. I have to get... Violet tells us this all the time. They're like, man, just act like stars. Right. Because, that's what you are. Be humble, but quit being surprised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's so brand new. The first show was in 2023, man. Oh, sorry, 2022.
Yeah, you speak it into existence. And speaking of speaking into existence, everybody watching the show, keep it locked because we got a live performance from the Unconventional Kingz. Low key, high def is in the building. Keep it locked. It's your boy Mack B and Violet Brown.
Yo, this is High Definition of the Unconventional Kingz.
And I'm Low Key the Wizard.
And we are here on Sports Hop Media with Mack B. We shooting this down here at the podcast place with Solomon. And we got Violet Brown in attendance. About to give you our new song off our new album, UKMF. It's called Feeling Me.
Why can't you be real with me? I just wanna know if you're feeling me. Why can't you be real with me? I just wanna know if you're feeling me, yeah.
Your expressionless face makes me wonder if we really are taste. We don't have to be in your face. Our musicality ain't for everybody. Words fall on beat in case you ever thought of moving Now we got you vibing, relish, and never the ooh in your food. Our creed is really only true to the rule of the greater good. Anything else we consider unruly and cruel. Not a wizard making all these grooves in your shoes. Our frequency vibrational waves like the moons in the room. It's a HD telescope, he's a lunar recruit. Rhymes bring the light closer like Mike Tyson done swung from his boots in 91 when he was packing the power punch. None of rappers with DJs, watch us devour lunch. They taste like auto-tune and bad bars, bad managers, bad plans, look like Tommy Titty and NASCARs to us, cause we've been watching the greatest bust. Give them flaming bars, we ain't out here shaming sluts. Still like a big one and a tight one, a small one and a white one, but what the fuck that got to do with rhyming? So we Lexus Losers Club members, where the merits of the music determine your love in us, whether you drop it, shake it, spin it, you it, it's no difference. Here you're winning no penance and receiving no penance. So if you find yourself off in our world, ain't many of us here where peace is the first way that we handle things unless you serve up hatred and envy, put you in the dirt. So you may want to mind your mouth and words if you ain't prepared to meet us on this turf. No ghosts, no vocals, you humming your words. You can't step to us, it's best you disperse.
Be real with me. I just wanna know if you're feeling me.
Hands up, hands up.
Can you be real with me? Yeah. I just wanna know if you're feeling me. Yeah.
Hear ye, listen and hear me clearly. I haven't been rapping for long, but I got some lyrics here, see? So I must show off. See the women take their clothes off. That's how you know I'm rocking the show. At least that's what them hoes thought. My wrist ain't froze off. My bank account is cool, but after my family's paid, I tell the bills to hold off. So I can go floss for show sauce. Hit them with a little bit of flow frost. So they eyes well up and ain't no stop. And the chill skin, and the fever and the shakes and the pain begin. And they ask for the motherfucking flames again. Want a nigga heat it up and take aim again. They just lucky I don't really wanna play again with these lames again. Just gonna be the same thing again, where I rain again. Got your girly neck dealing with a strain again. Nigga so high with no plane again. Syllable assassin with a painting pen. Busting out the motherfucking frame friend. Got a nigga feeling like he wanna sing again. So I guess the nigga better get to singing then.
Just wanna know if you're feeling me. Why can't you be real with me? Yeah, I just wanna know if you're feeling me. Yeah.
Woo! That was some fuego, baby. I hear you. High def, low key, baby. Y'all brought the heat.
Yeah.
Man, I was feeling me, okay?
Hey,
man, how did that record come about? When did you guys write that record, man? And is there a video out on it? Talk to me, what's happening?
No, there's not a video for that song, and believe it or not,
well, I want to direct, man. When you ready, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, let's shoot one here.
Yeah.
That song is the song we use to mellow everybody out at the show. You know what I mean? But that record came about because we were having conversations with people that wanted us to fit into a category or choose a genre.
Yeah.
That, you know what? The country stuff sounds good, so go this way. The chopper style rap, you got a lane over there. And this guy here he's the producer for Unconventional Kingz. Everything that we have, he's produced with the exception, I think, of 2 songs and 2 or 3. But either way, he is the architect of everything in the way that we build it all. So I'm like, he looks at it, and I'm gonna let him say it the way that he views hip hop and how he would come up with a beat like this.
Break it down, Loki.
So, I love like all genres of music. Yeah. Every style of music you can pick, and like I like contrast in music. I like the way certain styles set up certain emotions. So all these different genres and the subgenres, I view them all as separate instruments in a giant orchestra. And because they can all be fused and used in hip hop, well, that makes hip hop the conductor, right?
Right.
That makes hip hop the conductor because that's the voice of the soul. That's the voice of the human spirit. That's what guides all. That's what tells all what instruments are going to be played, right? And how the feel is going to be made, right?
Yeah.
It's the voice of the human soul, and that's the purest form of it, I think, is in hip hop. In the track, with the whole people telling us how to pick a genre or whatever, that's a really sensitive spot for me because I've heard that from big, I'm not gonna drop names, but big producers that I've worked with in the past and bands I've been in. That's one of the biggest things. It's just like, dude, what you have to do is pick a style, pick a this, pick that. And when he wrote those lyrics, I was like, oh yeah, man. And so I'm gonna throw together a beat that just doesn't even have a genre. It's just like no genre in this beat. I just wanted to make a void.
It just makes sense.
To be like, look, if you can't figure out what we're doing, then I guess you should go back to the coloring book on page one, that one page that has the only one color on it, and just stay there staring at that. Because this is for people that love music, man. If you love music, I love music too, and let's all love it together and love all of it together.
Right.
So why can't you be so when he says the actual hook?
Yeah, why can't you be real with me?
Yeah, why if you're not feeling it, it's okay. You know what I mean? You don't have to like everything. But that first verse is about the contrasting different styles of music. The second verse was what I was hearing about. Okay, so you just decided you're gonna rap. So you just decided you're gonna rap. So that's why I said, hear ye, listen and hear me clearly.
Right.
I haven't been rapping for long, but I got some lyrics. Here, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I felt like it was like, okay, cool. You're gonna bob your head to this song while you hating though.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna do everything in it. We sing in that song. He sings a hook in that song. I have a bridge that I sing in the middle of the first verse. You know what I mean? The second verse is chopper style rap.
I heard it.
Followed by a guitar solo.
Right.
Meanwhile, during my verses, what you'll notice is different about us, and like you can tell on Violet's hat and my hat, the basis for our original idea for Unconventional Kingz was a guitar and a microphone, an MC and a guitar, and that would be the basis for every instrumental we have. It doesn't matter what type of genre we're in, we're gonna involve that instrument. Sometimes it'll get on his nerves because I'll be like, yep, man, we still need it on this. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. But because of that, I just think you're hearing some blending of sounds that don't sound forced. You know what I mean? It's natural. You know what I mean? In the middle, we have a song called that song "Ashes in the Wind." We have a song called "Ashes in the Wind," and in the middle of me singing my first verse of that, boom, it's like my heartbeat stop. The feeling that you get, like you just got, like you're looking down the barrel, hoping it don't go pop, but when it doesn't, then it's over. Pain just won't stop. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's in the middle of the song. So are you leaving or not? Keeping me in limbo ain't achieving a lot. We should just stop. So just let me go. We don't need it. Just concede it. We don't love no more. And we singing again. Yeah. Going into a much harder rock style hook, followed by a guitar solo, followed by two more hooks, followed by an acapella at the end. And people get done with it and they don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, good. Maybe we don't have to call it anything. It's fine. It's rooted in hip hop. It's obvious that there's raps in the songs. But the way that people can listen to our album is at the beginning of our album is funky and it's a lot of rap in there. But the themes of the songs are about, for one, our culture. We got a problem in our culture where we talk about killing each other a lot and we romanticize the idea of killing each other. We glorify and the different ways to do it. So we take that on in a couple of the first songs. And then we got a Fly Out anthem. And then we got the songs like Ashes in the Wind. We got Brown Skin Cowgirl. And all these songs flow into genres where if somebody started listening to Execution with Tech N9ne, Execution, they're going to like Enemy Lines. You know what I mean? They're going to like the other rock genre. And I'm going to put them all together in like 4 or 5 songs so you don't leave. And then by the time they're done listening to rock, they'll be like, oh shit, they do this too? And before too long, they don't turn your album off. And it turns into Angelic, because in Angelic, you had to listen to Heaven, Hell, and Purgatory, you know, or Heaven, Purgatory, and Hell. Or
that was a great album.
Heaven, Purgatory. There was only one song in Heaven. That was Twisted, Roger Troutman. People listened to it because they wanted to find out, what is that? You had to listen to it that way. we created UKMF like that. You know, it's an album that came out on Valentine's Day this year, and go give it a listen for sure.
That's dope.
That's feeling me, right? That's what all that thing encompasses in that song, you know. And he put it perfectly, you know, and just like when I tell you that there's no genre to it, I also was a little jaded when I made the song, and that's why I do my little nanny. I do a little snake charmer type of guitar solo because I'm like, oh look, I just do whatever I want. I make the snake come out of the basket. I do whatever I want, bro. I can do whatever. It doesn't matter because it's me doing it. You can't do it. You're just sitting there talking about it, right?
Right.
You know.
You guys got something coming up January 3rd. If I'm not mistaken, is that in Pasadena?
Well, I got something coming up.
Talk to us
And
about
they just
that.
happen to be the stars of the show.
Tell me what's going on with that, Violet.
So I haven't done this in years, but I decided that we want to do a big showcase type thing where I introduce them to the world.
Nice.
You know, and so we want to make this big. It's going to be at the end of the tour they're at right now.
Yeah.
We decided to do it to kick off the new year. So they're going to be probably the first big thing that you're going to be able to hear anywhere other than maybe New Year's Eve shows or something.
Right.
We're going to come on the first Saturday.
January 3rd. Right?
January 3rd. We're going to be at
Mark
a
your
historic
calendars.
historical landmark type theater in Glendale, California called the Alex Theater.
Okay.
We're making this big. We got a lot of things planned there. A lot of surprise guests will be in the house. And tickets are going to go on sale this coming Friday.
That was my next question. Where can they get it? Eventbrite or where?
Well,
Their website?
Yeah, so the venue, the Alex Theater, is going to provide us with a live ticket link on Friday.
Okay.
This is going to be a show like, I promise you, I mean, they always say when you come to LA, you really got to be able to do something special because they've seen everything. They've seen Pac. They've seen everybody comes to LA to try to do the best that they can do, right?
Yeah.
And I think that what you're going to see is going to be extremely unique in the way that it's presented, and you won't want to miss any of it because there's going to be something for everybody the whole time. Like Violet said, you want to yell everybody's name that you think will be there, and the way that we're going to be able to present that show in that theater, it doesn't look like there's a bad seat in the house, for one.
Yeah.
It's got a big LED screen on the back of it that we're planning on utilizing in a different kind of way.
Right.
We want to have some. We may actually shoot this as a performance video to use for something in the future. So if you ever wanted to attend something, like people wonder, like, where was that comedy show that Martin Lawrence recorded and who was there? There was a whole stadium full of people that got to see it, right? And they had to be quiet about it. We want to create something special like that and shoot it like that and be able to present it in a way after the fact. So you could come down and be a part of something really special. And get back to be able to come with the godmother, to have the godmother of hip hop out here, who has made changes in so many people's lives and careers.
Right. Legend.
Want to walk out and put her name and present you in that way. You want to do something that knocks her socks off.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to be able to tell her everything that we want to do during this show.
Right.
But I can just tell you that we're gonna tickle everybody's funny bones with this show, the way that we're gonna put this together. Yeah.
She's gonna be right about everything she said.
You know, I don't want to rattle off names of guests that are going to be there. I want people to come to see them.
You got some surprises, right?
But we've got some surprises, and I mean, you may figure it out by some of the people that may be talking about this, you know, maybe on their social media and things like that.
Right.
But we want people to come to see them, and we've set up some great partnerships with different places. And tell them a little bit about Coda.
Okay, so Coda Music, you can download the app. It's available right now. Simply put, Coda Music is going to be less expensive for a user to buy. They're going to get the music in the same fidelity, the same artist, but your lower price that you pay still $1 of that, if you make the Unconventional Kingz your home artist, so you can just choose basically your favorite artist, right? Remember, like back in the day on MySpace, where you had like your top 8 friends and somebody was number 1.
Tom.
You could
It was Tom.
exactly. It was Tom. So
Where is Tom?
if you make us your Tom, if you make us your main artist, your home artist, they take $1 of that subscription and they pay it directly to us.
Dope.
So everybody knows that no one in music is happy about the way that artists get paid from Spotify, knowing that is the main way that people consume music.
It's a damn shame, to be honest.
It's a
shame.
It's a shame. It turns streaming services into advertising, and you hope you can do better someplace else. But I think the more you see platforms like this, the people understand it and the artists understand it. You know what I mean? You can make a big time movement when people do things with good intention. And it seems to me that Russell, we spent time with Russell and got to actually talk to him, and he walked us through and showed us the back end of the site and the way that artists are going to be able to really engage with their fans in a different kind of way and provide them with exclusive content and make it where they can actually go in and be in a social media world about music again. For the music lovers that really aren't on social media for other stuff, a lot of them just follow artists anyway. So to be able to go in there and bounce back and forth between all of your favorite artists, and you know what I mean? Who knows? We might get there, and some of artists that are comparable to us. Some of their fans might just like us and make us their top artist for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make us their home artist.
Yeah.
So what you're going to see is that we have a tour that's coming up called the Plus One Tour, and it starts on November the 2nd in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
And it's us and Joey Cool and Lex Bratcher. We're taking the Full Speed family with us, which is an Arizona artist, or Arizona group. We're taking the Real Kyrie with us, and we're taking a guy named Big Doobie, who had the most viral freestyle in the Bootleg Kev.
Okay. Shout out to Big
podcast
Doobie.
ever,
Yeah.
know?
Shout out to Bootleg. That's the homie, by the way.
He can so Doobie can really rap beyond that though. That was just a good example of how good he is. So we've got a great show that we're going to be doing, and we've already talked to Coda Music, and pretty soon we're going to be announcing some pretty cool stuff with them in the way that they're going to let us go out and spread the word about a really good way to not only save some money yourselves, but also let your artists get paid a little bit. You wouldn't mind $1 of your membership going to them instead of going to Spotify guys that are splitting it into, $1 billion bonuses and everything. You know what I mean? So
I really love that social media aspect of Coda, where you get to interact with your fans.
That's dope.
On the site where you provide your music to them and they stream it.
You don't have to leave it.
It's a more personal connection.
Absolutely.
Which is dope.
You'll be able to watch the new video that the Unconventional Kingz put out directly through a YouTube link that plays in their app. I mean, think about that. This is a music streaming service that will allow you to view a YouTube video within their app, knowing that it's competition. It lets you know that it's artist centric. It's designed to keep music fans in there again. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Engagement.
Yeah. And what you'll find out is that the artists that have the best connection with those fans are going to get people to go, I want to make sure at least one of my dollars is going to them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all genres.
Right.
Right.
Everything.
Violet, break it down for me, because you have a history of listening to records, getting in front of artists, and really just manifesting greatness out of them when others have doubts. It happened with Hammer. I don't think it happened with Tech, but I know that you and him go way back. But what compelled you to want to work with Unconventional Kingz? Because I've heard the music. It's dope. It's great. But you, being such an iconic figure in hip hop, talk to me about how they resonated with you specifically, and how this relationship is growing right in front of our eyes.
Well, it all starts with the music. So when I heard the music, I was knocked out by the music.
Yeah.
By his flow was amazing. The musical part of it was amazing. And that just knocked my socks off to begin with. Then during a 3-hour conversation that we had on the phone, after I started listening to the record, and we connected on the phone after I come back from the movies or wherever I was at that day, during that conversation, I got to hear who this guy really is. And I was like, he is brilliant. I mean, he is really smart. There's no bullshit with him. Like, he knew in a way, I mean, he wasn't in front of me animated, but he had that, I could feel his passion through the phone.
Right.
Kind of the same thing that Hammer had when he stood before me. Kind of the same way that Will.I.Am did when I saw him when he was 16 or something.
Shout out to Will.I.Am.
You know, like, he had that energy. He was smart. His heart was into it. It was a passion. And I really felt that, you know, and I was like, this is a guy that I could really do something with, you know, and we became fast friends, and Low Key is blown my mind with what he does. Like, every time I hear him pick up the guitar, I was like, is this Carlos Santana? I mean, he's an amazing guitarist, you know.
Violet's heard everything that's coming.
Yeah.
So she's heard most of what's on the way still.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I would be remiss now. This show is called Sports Hop, so you know we talking about hip hop, but we gotta mention the deport this. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
Currently sitting at 4-3 in the AFC West. Mm-hmm. Many people wrote them off when they started off 0-2. You see the helmet right here. Yeah. Okay, I've always respected Andy Reid, players coach. Patrick Mahomes is basically one of the greatest to ever do it. Stop sipping haterade for all you who are going against that statement, okay? But Kansas City's looking good. You're from Kansas City.
Yes.
Talk to me about the culture in Kansas City with the Chiefs and how that resonates with you, because I know Tech N9ne is a Kansas City maniac. Listen, when it comes to the city and the football team.
Tech N9ne is a very, very big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
He's not a bigger fan than me.
Okay.
I used to go to that stadium.
You really tuned in, huh?
You take cardboard with you when you go to the stadium, because the concrete there and the way the stadium is built, if you just put your feet on the concrete and when it's negative, your feet will
frostbite.
Oh man, it's crazy. So I used to go do that when we would be 2-14.
Okay.
I was that type of fan.
And
I
you were
really
still
loved.
cheering.
I really loved the Kansas City Chiefs. So my reaction to everybody writing us off at the beginning though was, he'll tell you. I said, I've been here before. I hear this every year. Tyreek Hill is leaving. We will never ever throw another touchdown pass ever again.
Right.
And then we go to 3 straight Super Bowls.
Right.
It's not, and it's. I'm not.
You
saying,
won 2 out of 3.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that in a cocky way, but I am in the sense that they have an expectation of the way that they do things.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid has developed a culture there where you can tell that players enjoy playing there. They don't like having to leave, even when their deals are up, or it's a situation where the team can't keep them. A lot of time we have return players that come in and play. Like right now, we Omar Norman Lott tore his ACL in the game. And
you got Rashee
prayers
Rice
up
back.
for him. Yeah, we
Rashee
did.
Rice is back.
But he tears that, and now the 2 of the guys that we want to go get are guys that were on the team last year that want to come back and play because like they missed the culture. Yeah, the culture that's been built there. But I know, I believe I 100% knew when you said what you just said about Rashee Rice. You add an element at one point in that game. You have Tyquan Thornton. And I'm going to say all the times wrong, but I'm going to be close. I want to say Tyquan Thornton ran 4.27. Right. You have Worthy, who ran 4.21, the fastest time ever.
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown, I think, who ran 4.24 or something like that at his pro day.
The speed.
And then you add Rashee Rice, who's probably technically the best receiver out of all of them, but he's not the fastest one. He still ran 4.4.
Yeah.
And then you have Travis Kelce on that team.
Oh yeah.
So it's okay. So pick your poison, and you have a guy that's a good decision maker at quarterback.
Right.
Eventually, when people got healthy, and you have teams that have a commitment to getting it right, they usually turn it around.
Yeah.
And I always tell folks, like, we haven't made it through this season yet, and we still ain't. When is the team gonna go win a Super Bowl from the AFC, not named the Kansas City Chiefs, in the last decade?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
It's really a 2-horse race because the Raiders are in the basement, and the Chargers, I don't trust them. But Denver's looking good. Kansas City is in second place. And it's early. There's still a lot of football left to be played. But shout out to Kansas City and Tech and the whole movement and welcome to the Red Kingdom.
King ISO produced that song.
I love that record. Shout out to Tech, the legend, Strange Music.
I was the only person that did not sing that.
You got a team? Are you a Cardinals fan over there?
Yeah, diehard Cardinals
Low
fan.
key?
I live and die with that stupid team every Sunday.
He's in his
It's painful right now, isn't it?
When is it not painful? Look, I tell people like that are just like, "Oh, you a Cardinals fan? What do you think about them?" I'm like, "Oh, we're in the middle of a 35-year rebuild, dude." No, look, honestly, like I love the defense this year. I love the defense.
Tyler's struggling a little bit. He didn't play the last game.
What is he not? He can't see over nobody, man. And then nobody's protecting him, so you can't even get to see what he can do, like he did with the first 2 years that he showed up.
Yeah.
He showed everybody what he could do. Then I don't know what happened. He signed a contract and was like, Call of Duty is awesome.
Right, yeah.
Like, whatever. Hey,
Rather
you know
play
what?
video
And then,
games
like,
than do homework.
and then he's like going out there like blaming other people. Like you see him like actively blaming other people for shit going off. And it's like, nah, dog, like that's you.
Yeah.
And then Jacoby Brissett comes out and we almost win the damn game, man. Like
you guys were in that game against Green Bay. Green Bay's a good team.
no, Green Bay's an excellent team. I thought they would come out there and stomp the mud hole. You know what I mean? And just like run through us like we weren't nothing. And I was like, oh snap. Oh well, I love my defense. I was like, I love my defense the whole game. I was like, this is great. But one thing I can tell you about being a Cardinals fan, man, like I am an expert in spotting quarterbacks that are not the guy.
And Kyler, is he the guy? Or
he got to go through a maturing process, man. You know what I mean? You could just tell that Kyler.
Yeah, he's got to go through a maturing process that lengthens his legs.
No.
Look. I give credit where it's due. I'm really mad at Quarter Billy because that's what I call him, Quarter Billy.
Right. Got a $250.
So watching him throw interceptions when he doesn't need to, and then throwing the ball when he doesn't need to, but then throwing like perfect dimes, or then like converting a 3rd and 19 with his own two little, Lamborghinis. He's out there with his Ferraris.
He's got some athleticism,
Subarus, whatever you want to call them. He's out there just cutting it,
Right.
And that's great. And it's great, but it just doesn't. We just don't come out the end with the dub, dude.
We don't
come out with the dub. Like what?
Right.
And the last 4 games that he played, they were going 3 and out.
Yeah.
And the defense was doing a great job. And then people are like, oh, the defense gave away at the end of the game. It's like, well, that's what happens when they're out on the field for the entire game.
Well, Matt,
by the fourth quarter, they're done.
What did it take for the Kansas City Chiefs to erase a 50-year gap in Super Bowls? It took Patrick Mahomes.
A great quarterback.
Right, we had a good one. We had Alex Smith, and we had just played. He had just taken us deep in the playoffs the year before.
Right.
And a great coach. Come on.
But
give him the credit, man. A great
Andy
coach,
Reid,
man.
Steve Spags.
Steve Spags,
defensive
Steve
coordinator.
Spags, too. Like,
defensively, Kansas City's on.
You guys have the front office figured out. The coaching is there. It's all
the
right.
organization is run the right way. Okay.
Yes.
At the end of the day,
Spags is everybody got to remember, man. Spags beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl when he was with the Giants. Spags is the guy. This is the dopest thing about Steve Spagnuolo. For one, I have this video. I have this video that I took in the 2020 in the Super Bowl that we won against the 49ers, the first one that we won.
Yeah.
When we were down in that game, I took my phone out and I recorded a video and I said, Steve Spagnuolo, this is why we got you. It's literally, I said it to it's still in my phone right now.
Yeah.
I said, Steve Spagnuolo, this is why we got you.
Right.
And we win that game, right? We come back and beat them in that game. And it was because of these blitzes. Steve Spagnuolo is so willing to not blitz for 3 quarters, just so you don't see it the whole game.
And he'll disguise it.
And then all of a sudden, it's like we didn't get any pressure all game, and we get pressure on 4 out of 5. You know what I mean? Because the whole time he's been watching on them little. I mean, you realize like the information that they get now, like on those tablets.
Oh yeah, I know.
And they know that this guard is taking a false step to the left every time that we did this. Now we know we need to create that false step, and we're going to send a safety right through there.
Right.
And he's just so good at that. and you see the frustration, and he's frustrated everybody like that. He had Brady throwing balls straight up into the sky.
Right.
He frustrated what's the guy that is super overrated in Cincinnati? I hate saying his
Burrow,
name.
Joe
Oh
Burrow.
yeah, when he tried to say that it was gonna be Burrowhead, and remember all that.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow has missed the playoffs more than half of his season.
That's the worst thing you
He's
can
been
do.
hurt.
He
The
shouldn't
worst thing
be
you can do
hurt
is
a lot.
talk smack about the
Yeah,
Chiefs
and
before you
what's
play
that?
them, bro. That's the worst thing.
What's
ever.
that?
It's the worst
a
thing you
big
do is
mistake.
talk smack about
Oh.
the Chiefs before you play them because
In
you look like an
Arrowhead,
idiot.
yeah. But he got one in Arrowhead too. He's the only one that went in there and got one in an important game. But he's, to me, Joe Burrow is the most overrated quarterback from a leader. We talking about from a leadership standpoint, okay? He leaves Ohio State and ends up at LSU. Why? Because he wasn't going to start.
Arrogance.
He wasn't going to start in Ohio State, so he went. He jumped shit, right? And he went and played someplace else, which is okay. You got to do what's best for you, right? At the same time, though, you can see him when he's mentally, his switch can be flipped so easily mentally. Either maybe he's not getting the protection that he needs to get. Maybe I just feel like you don't see the same mental makeup with him that you see with Mahomes, in my opinion. I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Nick Wright said it the best. He said if Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen went to the Super Bowl this year and lost, it would be the best season of their career. And it's what you guys called Mahomes' worst season of his career last year.
Right.
It's not. We're not talking about the same thing. A mental makeup for Patrick Mahomes to play in AFC Championship games with severe high ankle sprains.
Oh yeah.
Playing in a Super Bowl with a severe high ankle sprain, showing leadership, pain tolerance, all of those different things.
But making the plays at the right moment, at the right time.
And you need.
I trust him more than any other quarterback in the league. When the game's on the line, you got Andy Reid as a coach. In-game adjustments matter. Patrick Mahomes matters. Kansas City will be there in January and February. I'll be in Frisco, and I won't be surprised if they're back in the Super Bowl. And if you guys are off the road, come powwow with me. I might have a little function cooking, you know. So, and Violet, I'm gonna drag you out there too. Do you have a football team? Are you sports at all, or not your thing?
Dodgers baseball.
Dodgers are in the World Series. Let's go,
World
baby!
Series.
Big Blue.
So day after tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching that game.
That's
like a
right.
hawk.
That's
Yeah.
right. Give me a high five on that. The Dodgers. Let's
Hey,
go.
how many
Take it
Kendrick
again.
and Drake songs are we gonna have to listen to for that one?
Oh, they're saying it might reignite the feud, right?
Yeah.
Because it's Toronto and LA.
Toronto.
That would be interesting. But one thing I want to say that's interesting is January 3rd, the Alex Theater in the city of Glendale, California. Tickets go on sale this Friday, October 24th, which is actually only 2 days away. Make sure y'all tap in. Unconventional Kingz. You got Low Key. You got my man right here who's going to do his thing, not only January 3rd, but High Def, you on the road, right? When's your next show?
The next show is November the 2nd at the Roxy Theater in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. I used to live in Denver. Shout out to the Roxy.
Yeah,
the Roxy.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. I think this is gonna be our 6th time playing the Roxy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of those nights. The type of show we made for this tour is exactly what I would have wanted if I was going out to a hip hop show. Non-stop lyricism, variety of delivery. Man, what the Full Speed family got a saxophone player that raps. A saxy rapper, you know. It's a hip hop show. It's a hip hop experience. Is what it is.
Okay. I'm actually going to Denver tomorrow. But I wish I was going to be there on the 2nd, but I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you now.
Figure it out.
You know, that's a good. November's a good month. You know, my birthday's on the 9th. I wear size 12,
okay,
by the way.
okay.
If anybody's interested in a little gift, I wear size 12. That includes you, Solomon. Before we go though, let everybody watching the show know what time it is. Plug your social media handles where they can find you online.
Gotcha. Unconventional Kingz with a Z on every platform. So Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok.
Across the board.
Across the board, man. We got some good advice there. So Unconventional Kingz with a Z everywhere. YouTube as well.
Yeah.
We have videos on YouTube.
Yes.
We have some exclusive content on YouTube. There's some raps on YouTube. There's a lot of live performance stuff on YouTube. We're going to be on YouTube on this show right here. You know what I mean?
Sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
And stay up to date on all the tour information and get some sweet merch at unconventionalkingz.com.
That's right.
unconventionalkingz.com. Now, we didn't say our tagline on your show because we were trying to keep it classy.
And if you're out there at one of those shows, show up early. Be on the lookout because you're going to see some special things from Coda on the tour too.
Shout out to Coda and Violet Brown. Let them know where they can find you because you are the godmother of hip hop on the West Coast, baby. Where can they find you?
On Instagram, I'm under The Violet Brown, and under Facebook, I'm just Violet Brown, and you'll be able to find me.
I like that name, because my last name is Brown. So us Browns think alike.
That's right.
So you know what time it is with me. You can tap in with me online at Mack B, at MACK, B as in boy, _, at Sports Hop Media. We love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Episode 64 is in the books. We got Violet Brown. We got Low Key. We got High Def. Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching Sports Hop. For all the latest news on hip hop and sports, subscribe here and keep it locked. It's your boy Mack B.